Yemen, situated on the southwestern edge of the Arabian Peninsula, this strategic location places Yemen alongside several other nations within the Arabian Peninsula, including Jordan, Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, UAE, and Oman. Yemen's geographical features encompass a diverse landscape that includes coastal plains extending from both the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden, offering fertile grounds conducive to agriculture. Inland, the terrain transitions into rugged mountain ranges, prominently characterized by the Sarawat Mountains. In fact, this mountainous expanse spans much of the western Arabian Peninsula and adds to Yemen's picturesque vistas. However, eastern Yemen is home to part of the fifth largest desert in the world, the Rub al-Khali. Nicknamed the Empty Quarter, the desert has the longest stretch of continuous sand in the world, covering much of the Arabian Peninsula. The endless sand and arid climate make the desert uninhabitable. Yemen is so dry that it doesn't have any permanently flowing rivers, only dry river valleys known as wadis. In addition to the mainland, Yemen's territory includes several tiny islands in the Red and Arabian Seas. The most well-known Yemeni island is Socotra, which is a World Heritage Site due to its rare plants like the dragon blood tree, birds and reptiles that cannot be found anywhere else in the world. Architecture in Yemeni cities are fascinating, unique, and beautifully detailed. Some of the oldest skyscrapers, which are still standing, are made from sun-dried soil, which protects from harsh winds and cold weather, but stays cool during hot temperatures. People have lived in Yemen's corner of the Arabian Peninsula since the 12th century BC. Before the arrival of Islam, wealthy city-states and empires like the Minian, Sabaean, and Himyarite controlled the region. At the beginning of the 15th century, Yemenis were supposedly among the first people to popularize coffee as a beverage. As a result, the country became a source of conflict between the Egyptians, the Ottoman, and various European powers that wanted to control the market for Coffea arabica, believed to be the first species of coffee cultivated in the world. During the 19th century, Yemen found itself entangled in a geopolitical struggle for dominance. The Ottoman Empire asserted control over northern Yemen, while the British established their authority over Aden, a significant city located in the southern region. This geopolitical division laid the groundwork for the emergence of two distinct Yemeni entities, North Yemen and South Yemen. The Ottoman influence in the north and British presence in the south delineated the geopolitical landscape. But then, in 1990, the discovery of oil and natural gases in both North and South Yemen prompted the two nations to reunite. Neither side wanted to engage in a costly war over these important resources and decided it would be better to share the profits as one country. The constitution of the new Republic of Yemen was adopted in 1990. In the aftermath of the Arab Spring uprisings, Yemen experienced profound internal divisions, marked by competing factions supporting various political leaders. In 2014, a group of rebels known as the Houthis seized control of the capital city, Sana'a. The Houthis, adherents of Shiite Islam, represent a minority within Yemen, which is predominantly Sunni Muslim. Their insurgency aimed to challenge the authority of the Sunni Muslim majority and sought to install members of their own Houthi community into positions of power and leadership within the country. This power struggle intensified existing sectarian tensions and exacerbated the political and social unrest that had gripped Yemen for years. The rebellion unleashed a wave of sectarian conflict that fractured Yemen along religious lines, plunging the nation into a devastating civil war that persists to this day. The ongoing conflict has triggered a severe humanitarian crisis, placing millions of Yemenis in dire jeopardy of starvation and deprivation. Despite international efforts to provide aid and assistance to Yemen, the challenges have been exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic, which has further complicated the delivery of humanitarian aid and exacerbated the already dire situation in the country. The vast majority of Yemen's population is of Arab descent, with roots tracing back to the Arabian Peninsula and neighboring regions. Along the coastal areas, there are minority groups with Somali ancestry, while small Egyptian communities are scattered throughout the northern regions of the country. Religiously, the majority of Yemenis adhere to Islam, the predominant faith in the country. Islam comprises two main branches, Sunni and Shiite. While Sunni Muslims constitute the majority in Yemen, there is also a significant Shiite population residing in various parts of the country. Now, when it comes to architecture, Yemen has some real gems that'll blow your mind. Picture this: sun-baked stone blocks and bricks forming these towering structures that have been around for over 2,000 years. One standout is Shibam, this ancient walled city that's like stepping back in time. And let's talk about Sana'a, Yemen's capital. It's a real treasure trove of history. I mean, we're talking about one of the oldest cities out there. Wander through its ancient streets and you'll stumble upon the Great Mosque, which has been standing tall since the time of Prophet Muhammad way back in the 7th century. That's pretty incredible, isn't it? You know, the Arabian highlands in western Yemen are like hidden gems of biodiversity. Despite a lot of the native forests being cleared for farming, there are still these lush cloud forests hanging on in some spots. And let me tell you, these Yemeni mountains boast the most diverse plant life you'll find on the whole Arabian Peninsula. Now, what's really cool is that all these plants attract a whole range of bird life. Now, if we shift gears to the Rub al Khali, it's a whole different story. This region is like a desert oasis, but not in the lush green way you might imagine. It's more about survival here, with only a few tough plants and animals making it work. You've got the Egyptian cobra, the shield-tailed scorpion, and even the Yemeni mouse, all finding ways to thrive on the desert's edge, away from that sandy interior. If you head north of Sana'a, near the village of Madar, you might stumble upon dinosaur footprints, proof that this area was once a muddy playground for ancient giants. The Tihama abruptly ends where the western highlands kick in. This place is a true agricultural hotspot, with terraced fields stretching as far as the eye can see. And when the rain comes, it really pours, especially in Taiz and Ib, where you can expect over 1,000 millimeters a year. But don't let the warm days fool you. Nights here can get chilly real quick. Now, let's talk about the Central Highlands. A vast plateau over 2,000 meters high. It's drier than its western counterpart, but still gets enough rain for some serious crop action, thanks to smart water storage and irrigation techniques. Sana'a, the heart of Yemen, sits right in the middle of this region. And if you're into heights, Jabal an-Nabi Shu'aibi is the place to be, standing tall at a whopping 3,666 meters, the highest point in both Yemen and the whole of Arabia. The generous offering of food to guests is one of the customs in Yemeni culture, and a guest not accepting the offering is considered an insult. Meals are typically consumed while sitting on the floor or ground. Unlike the tradition in most Arab countries, lunch is the main meal of the day in Yemen, not dinner. Yemeni cuisine uses a wide range of spices, hot peppers, and sauces. The most eaten meat is lamb, followed by goat and chicken. Pork is not eaten at all, due to religious beliefs. Fish is popular along the coastal regions. Vegetables and meat are usually brought and consumed as fresh as possible. Many dishes are accompanied by rice or flatbreads. After Yemen united in 1990, both North and South Yemen had similar cuisines. Despite its regional variations, salta is considered to be the national dish of Yemen. The most common dishes consumed all over Yemen are made with rice and lamb. Mornings start with a warm embrace from hearty dishes that fuel the day ahead. Picture this: a table adorned with an array of pastries, tempting you to take a bite. Yemeni coffee or tea stands proudly by, ready to kickstart your senses. Breads are an integral part of Yemeni cuisine, most of which are prepared from local grains. Unleavened flatbreads are common. Saluf, a flatbread made from wheat flour, is the most common of all breadstuffs. The dough is allowed to ferment with hamira, yeast, while some would baste the surface of the dough with a prepared batch of unseasoned fenugreek, hilba, prior to baking. These were almost always baked at home in an earthenware oven called tanur in Arabic. In Yemen, lunch takes center stage, unlike the evening affairs typical in many other countries. It's the grand feast where meat, poultry, and grains claim the spotlight, satisfying hunger and nourishing the soul. Picture a spread fit for royalty, where every dish tells a story of tradition and flavor. Let's delve into the culinary treasures common at Yemeni lunch tables. First up, we have asid, a hearty dish crafted from a cooked wheat flour lump of dough, sometimes adorned with butter or honey, offering a taste of comfort and simplicity. Then there's fasa, a tantalizing Yemeni stew featuring lamb cutlets bathing in rich lamb broth, a symphony of flavors simmering in every spoonful. As the aroma wafts through the air, you'll encounter kabsa, also known as makbus in Arab countries, a fragrant rice dish adorned with tender meat, a culinary masterpiece that transcends borders. Next on the menu is fatah, a delightful creation where pieces of flatbread, whether fresh, toasted, grilled, or stale, mingle harmoniously with other ingredients, creating a tapestry of textures and tastes. Prepare your taste buds for hanith, a slow-roasted lamb dish, lovingly cooked in a tanner with a spice rub, served atop a bed of fragrant rice, a testament to Yemeni culinary prowess. And let's not forget haris, a comforting blend of boiled, cracked, or coarsely ground wheat, mingled with meat and seasoned to perfection, offering a taste of rustic elegance. Last but certainly not least, savor the flavors of yaknun, a Yemenite Jewish pastry, a cherished delicacy traditionally savored on Shabbat mornings, a symbol of unity and celebration. But wait, there's more to this morning feast. Dive into a more substantial spread, featuring legumes, eggs, or the savory delight of roasted meat or kebab. Whether served alongside or tucked snugly into a sandwich, bread is always a loyal companion to these flavors. Yemen's flora is like a blend of two distinct personalities, each claiming its territory across the landscape. First off, you've got the tropical African vibe, hanging out in the western mountains and parts of the highland plains. These areas enjoy a decent amount of rainfall, which the plants absolutely love. Think ficus trees, Acacia mellifera, and Grewia villosa, among others. They're the life of the party in these regions, bringing lushness and greenery wherever they go. Then, you've got the Saharo-Arabian crew dominating the coastal plains, eastern mountains, and the eastern and northern desert plains. These plants are built tough, thriving in arid conditions like it's nobody's business. Panicum turgidum, Aerva javanica, and Zygophyllum simplex are just a few of the tough guys making their mark in these parts. And get this, many of these species are exclusive to the sandy coastal plains, adding an extra layer of uniqueness to Yemen's flora scene. When the states of North and South Yemen were established, most resident minority groups departed. Yemen is a largely tribal society. There are also hereditary caste groups in urban areas such as Al-Akdam. There are also Yemenis of Persian origin. An estimated 100,000 people of Indian origin are concentrated in the southern part of the country, around Aden, Mukalla, Shir, Lahaj, Mocha, and Hodeidah. Most of the prominent Indonesians, Malaysians, and Singaporeans of Arab descent are Hadrami people, with origins in southern Yemen in the Hadramaut coastal region. Today, there are almost 10,000 Hadramis in Singapore. The Hadramis migrated to Southeast Asia, East Africa, and the Indian subcontinent. The industrial sector is centered on crude oil production and petroleum refining, food processing, handicrafts, small-scale production of cotton textiles and leather goods, aluminum products, commercial ship repair, cement, and natural gas production. In Yemen, society is woven together by tribal bonds, where trust and assurance are gauged by blood ties. Family units stand as the cornerstone of individual loyalty, with allegiance extending to the tribe, an extended kinship rooted in a shared ancestral lineage. In this intricate web of relationships, familial devotion reigns supreme, followed closely by allegiance to the tribe, a collective identity tracing its roots to a common progenitor. In the rural expanses of Yemen, where state authority wanes, disputes between tribes often find resolution through the age-old method of violence. The art of the feud persists, casting Yemen into the realm of a gun culture. In virtually every household, firearms find a place of prominence, a symbol of protection and power. Men and boys, bearing arms, traverse public spaces, embodying the legacy of their ancestors. Even in the absence of a pistol or rifle, the Yemeni male, especially those hailing from rural tribes, proudly carries the janbiya, a traditional dagger. Adorned across the abdomen, its short, broad, curved blade signifies more than just a weapon. It embodies status, serving as a tangible emblem of one's position within the intricate tapestry of social and tribal hierarchies. In Yemen, the echoes of tradition reverberate through every aspect of life, from familial ties to tribal affiliations, shaping identities and defining societal norms, in a land where the past intertwines seamlessly with the present. Don't forget to subscribe and share our channel. Goodbye.